Boardway Boarding Barn. Boardway Boarding has just bought a new farm under a 30-year mortgage in New Jersey. It is 30 minutes south of Philadelphia, giving it a prime location. It has a brand new indoor ring with its own watering system and is less than a year old. It has a large home and a pool on site as well. The farm will be opening for boarders and clientele, and it is focused on upper-level show horses and people who want to competitively show or ride at a higher level. Many groom services are offered as well as detailed accommodations that can be made for you and your horse to help achieve success. Objectives. The barn is focused on attaining high-quality care on a daily basis for you and your horse. We offer special groom packages and services, specialized turnout, maintenance, care, and rehab offered on site. You will have access to a qualified professional trainer as well. Full care board for horses in the main barn is $650 a month, and it's the stalls you see in the picture to the right. Full care board for ponies in the main barn is $575 a month. And then full care for horses in the shed row are $550 a month. And the shed row is located in between two pastures, and they can be conjoined if wanted, but is naturally set up to have two horses on each side. So here are some of the groom services that are offered at home. I can travel locally and provide these as well as going to local shows, especially in the first couple years. That's probably what I'll be doing. So full body clipping, trace clips, mane pulling, braiding, administering oral medications if your horse needs wormer and you don't want to do it yourself. For hand walking for over 20 minutes a day, it'll be $8 a day. Time is money. If it's under 20 minutes a day, then that's okay. Blanketing is going to be $30 a month. Being in New Jersey, at a horse show barn like this, where your horse is probably clipped, you probably are going to pay $30 extra about 6 months out of the year. If you don't want to blanket your horse, then you don't need to. You also just don't have to pay $30 during the summer months if you don't want your horse to have a rain sheet or anything on. Bell boots or splint boots for your turnout as well. We will not take care of a horse after the ride, but if you want to prepare a horse before a ride, whether that needs to be lunge, groom, and tacked, or just groom and tacked up for you, we'll do that. And then standing wraps, if you want your horse to have standing wraps, and then however many legs they have, just because it's timely and that's a skill. If standing wraps are done wrong, that can be very bad for your horse. And then lunch feed would be $100 a month. With the amount of grass, hay, and grain they're getting, they shouldn't need a lunch feed. So maybe your horse is injured or having a hard time and we put them on lunch feed for a month. The idea is that they wouldn't need to be on lunch feed after a month. It's just for a time being to get them in better shape. So general groom services while at shows will include feed AM and PM, grain, hay, water buckets dumped and refilled daily. Night check is included. If your horse needs to be lunged or hacked in the morning, it'll be done. If it doesn't need to be lunged and hacked, it'll get 10 minutes of hand walking, and then it'll need 10 minutes of hand walking either way. The horses shouldn't sit in their stalls, especially if it's an off day, so that'll be put in there. For personal groom services, it can be ringside assistance, tacking, untacking, bathing, clipping, braiding, anything else. So everyone needs to have one or the other, and it'll be discussed before the show. If you don't want to pay for general groom services, you are going to act as the general groom services yourself, and that'll be discussed for the trainer to make a decision on. If it's a week-long show and there's only a couple grooms, like myself and one other, we're not going to be able to really give personal groom service unless it's a day where only a couple people are riding and maybe they're showing at different times, and then we can be your personal groom service, but that's up for the trainer to decide. And there's daily fees, $35 a day for general, $50 to $75 a day for personal, depending on what you want. And then if your horse needs to be braided, then that would just be a separate thing if you have general, whereas it's included if you have personal. So if you're at a week-long show and your horse needs its mane and tail braided for the hunter classes 4 days out of 7, then that's a fee you'd have to pay as well, on top of the fact that you should always tip your grooms. I know a lot of people like to bring coffee instead of tipping them or offering food, and honestly, that's fine too, but it is a service. So New Jersey actually has the most horses per mile in the United States. So it's not the largest state, but it definitely has the most horses, even though it is small. So if you can just imagine seeing that many horses in such a small state. It's also the headquarters for the United States equestrian team, and the state believes that horses bring in around $3.2 billion to the state every year. So they've actually dedicated a month to the state, where the month of June is dedicated to the horse. So for startup plans, buy the farm on a 30-year mortgage, and the business plan and my stellar credit score with my dad's cosign is allowing me to do that. I'm putting $10,000 down on a $600,000 property. I'm going to save $5,000 to the side for startup costs in case anything goes wrong, but it really shouldn't, because the house is basically brand new and almost everything's been renovated in the farm. The farm is move-in ready and almost everything has been renovated, so we want to start the business as soon as possible so we're not losing money. So I'd hire a head trainer under a 5-year contract and open for boarding and clients as soon as possible. Create business cards with my logo, start advertising, make a Facebook page, Instagram, and a website to get my name out. So the farm at 994 Lower Mill Road, Elmer, New Jersey. This is the ring pictured. It is the actual ring for the farm. It is a 4-bedroom house with a pool on site, 14 paddocks, 2 large pastures, and 12 run-ins, plus a shed row with a lean-to. There's 11 normal horse-sized stalls, 2 extra large stalls, and 4 pony stalls, and then there are 4 stalls in the shed row. The ring is 70 by 140 with new lights and a watering system. There's a large round pen and an even larger outdoor arena with new footing and lights. There's also a tack and feed room. So this is a picture of the actual farm. The picture in the top right is the driveway coming in, and then going all the way back in all those pastures. And then that's an aerial site view. You can see the round pen, the house, the arena, and all those paddocks to the back left on that tree line. So for employees, I'm going to hire myself. I'm going to hire a barn worker with the idea that hopefully there'll be a manager in a couple of years and I'll get a raise. And then hiring a head trainer under a contract. In year 3, I will hire another full-time person. We'll look into working students. Year 5, I'm looking for an assistant trainer that would stay home and teach while the head trainer is away. For marketing, I have a business card, brochure, Facebook, Instagram, website, and then all the merchandise, clothes, saddle pads with your name and logo on it. In the picture to the right, that is Boardway Boarding Barn business card, and then the logo is my name in the horse jumping. For promotions, if someone has more than 1 horse, trainers included, board will be $50 off on every horse after the original one. So if you have 4 horses and you're stabling them in the main barn, the first horse will cost the normal $650, and then the other 3 horses are only going to cost $600 each. The trainers will pay a stipend to me, so they still have to pay for board for their own horses, with the idea that they're bringing clients' horses into board as well. I do this to encourage boarders to have more than 1 horse and to make it for anyone that has more than 1 horse and they're trying to switch barns. I will also allow 1 day per month where boarders are allowed to help out around the barn to possibly get $50 off their board. So probably a Sunday or a Saturday, 1 day weekend. And they'll do some spring cleaning, jump setting, or jump painting. We'll make a huge day out of it. All the boarders will be invited to come out on this one specific day a month. And if they do so, then they'll get $50 off their board for helping out. But normally a lot gets done in mass groups like that, trying to help. So for a time frame, in year 1, I want to open the barn with myself and 1 employee and a head trainer. I want to end the year at 75% capacity and spread the name and grow the business. I'm not expecting to make money in year 1. I'm just trying to start out. In year 2, the trainer begins to going to a few shows a year. Groom services expand, barns at 85% capacity. In year 3, going to 6 to 9 shows a year. Barn is at 95%. Our name is out there, and the groom services have taken off at home, locally, and at shows. In year 4, trainer is going to 10 to 13 shows a year, rated shows, hire another full-time employee, and take on a working student. Groom services are maxed out, and barn is full. So by what I mean by maxed out is that we are making enough money and working enough hours that we would be ready to bring on another worker. So whether it's doing clients at home, doing our own horse shows, and then going to local shows to braid for other barns, our services are maxed. And we don't really want to take on any new clients because we have enough for how many people we have already. So in the 5th year, the barn is full, hiring an assistant trainer, 2 working students, maybe an internship, and spending about 15 to 18 weeks a year at shows. And then a full-time home trainer as well would be that assistant trainer. Each barn worker will be under a 6-month to 1-year contract after a trial period. The head trainer and the assistant trainer can make their own schedule, and they'll both be under 5-year contracts. The working students will work in return for experience, and they can choose if they want to travel to shows or not, and they may work off boarder lessons. And I am my own groom business and boarding business away from the training, so the assistant and head trainer should have their own insurance and their own programs that they're trying to start up. They're just using my facility and services. So here is how I got some of the numbers and the grain that I'm going to be feeding. So this is the grain, hay, and shavings. For hay, I'm only going to put round bales in pastures when the grass is under 4 inches. And since they're show horses, they're not going to be outside every day, all day. It's going to be weather permitting, and they're only going to go out with who they can go out with. So a lot of them are going to be on private turnout, which is going to be a rotation. And I actually have enough paddocks and pastures to do a rotation and leave a couple of pastures and paddocks empty to let the grass grow. And then for shavings, these are as if they're bag shavings. It's not sawdust and they're not dusty, and they're going to come in a tractor trailer. So for 21 horses, it's going to be about 3 times a year. But the first couple years when I don't have a full barn, it'll be cheaper. So this is my balance sheet. The first year I have that $5,000 cash that I set aside, and then board and supplies for grooming. I have a lot of expenses my first year because I'm buying a trailer, a new computer, and a tractor outright. And then for their depreciation, I have it starting at 20%, and then in the following years, it's 15%. Like my land and buildings as well. And then I have my truck under liabilities because I'm leasing it. So I'll still be paying the truck off and leasing it in following years. But that was a cost-effective way for me to do that. And then income taxes, I Googled this for New Jersey, and I'll be at about 10.7%. So the first year, I'm losing a lot of money, but in the following years, it's really not too bad. I have no capital stock. So this is my income statement. I unfortunately can't show you the rest of year 5 without the numbers being too small for not being able to read them. So I have board, my grooming services, and then my additional services are all those extra fees that might come from boarding and rehabbing horses a year. The property lease agreement is what the trainer is paying me. So you see that goes up in year 5 when I hire an assistant, because she's paying me a small fee as well to use my property a year. I have gas, hay, grain, shavings, electrolytes, salary expense. My utilities, I averaged this off of local barns as well. internet, maintenance, marketing. So that tractor, truck, trailer, and laptops and supplies for grooming are a lot higher in year 1. So I do become negative. And then year 2, 3, 4, and 5, the numbers look pretty good because of those first year startup costs. So overall, I would probably need about a $20,000 startup loan. And for loans that much, the average could be anywhere between 10 and 20%. So I said at 15%. Just so I don't become in that negative. But then I would be able to pay off between year 3 and 4 if I wanted to. And I got most of these numbers between Googling things in the local area and seeing how much they cost, running it off of other places in the area, especially for how much I wanted to price board at, and then doing my other fees to figure out how much my insurance was going to be. I honestly posted a Facebook status and saw what other people were paying for insurance, and I budgeted myself just a little wiggle room. So I saw for a property this size, it's about $3,000, so I put it at $3,200. And overall, these are where I got most of my numbers.